I did it again. Sorry, Barker. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Kayfabe. I am not in an actual studio. No, I am not, but I will be very soon. Actually, Adam Harris is with me right now. Adam, can you believe it? I am literally only 3 weeks away from having my studio returned after the hurricane. What
Holy
a
cow.
mess.
Wow. Your
What a
your
mess.
studio's been gone for half of AEW's entire life.
No, just a fourth. It's 4 years. I've only been without for a year. Either way, we have something to talk about tonight that I had to talk about despite the fact that I wasn't set up to talk about it. So I made it work the best I could so that we could discuss Tony Khan being gifted from the universe a second chance by getting Adam Copeland, aka formerly known as Edge, to join AEW and become All Elite. First of all, my question for you, Adam Harris, is did you expect it?
I never expected it. No, even with the rumors, I was like, I don't believe that. I kind of figured Edge was leaning more towards staying home. I felt like he was time to be a family man, especially considering like that last run and everything. And he came back and got hurt kind of quickly. And he had that brutal match with Randy Orton, during the pandemic. It was not all roses for me with Edge in his most recent run. Um, but I think there's a lot of potential here, man. But we've got to see. It's always wait and see with AEW. I did not think it would happen.
See, with me, I did think it was going to happen. And there was a few reasons I thought it was going to happen. Simply because, like you said, it was time for him to go home and be the family man. But he's done that for so
It's
many
true. He
years.
did. Yeah,
Like
he was
he's
forced
sat
into
on the
that.
right, he sat on the bench for so many years, and right now he's cleared to wrestle. He come back to the WWE expecting something monumental. It was lackluster, especially when they gave him the stable and then took it away from him. That didn't make any sense. Judgment Day hasn't made sense since that happened. Even though they've seen some success, it still just doesn't work for me like it would have if Edge was the leader of it.
Right.
But what at that point are you doing with Edge in the WWE? And Edge wants to finish out his career strong. He
And yeah,
wants to
let's
do
admit it.
something like that.
Yeah, that match with Sheamus was good, but I mean, that's not the storybook ending that Edge wants to his career
No,
in wrestling or
a-
the WWE.
absolutely not. And that's the thing for me. I knew all of those factors, and if AEW is the option, I can see him going there, or at least negotiating something in the WWE worth staying for. And I think that was the issue. They couldn't negotiate anything worth staying
Mm-hmm.
for someone like Edge. And I don't know if you know this, Adam. Edge is in my top five
I can
favorite
see that.
wrestlers of
I
all
can see
time.
that.
And I don't think he's five. He's in my top five, and I don't think he's five. So
Maybe not
I,
number
I'm
one.
I'm a huge fan, but when I look at Tony Khan and I think about this is something that you may or may not have thought of. But when I look at Tony Khan and I say, okay, you had the opportunity to have CM Punk. So you have CM Punk, and he is a huge draw. Would you agree with me that CM Punk, all in all, with all things considered, is a bigger draw than Kenny Omega or Chris Jericho?
That CM Punk is?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when CM Punk is removed from the roster, who are your two largest names?
I
Kenny
guess it's
Omega.
Jericho and Omega. Yeah.
Exactly. So Jericho and Omega are not strong enough to make AEW what they actually want to be. And I'm not taking anything away from Omega. I'm not taking anything away from Jericho. Those are two of my favorite people in
For sure.
AEW.
For sure.
I love seeing Kenny Omega wrestle, and I've always loved Chris Jericho. I've been a Jerichoholic since day one. I'm from ECW Jericho. So I'm not saying anything bad about either one of them, but neither one of them have the drawing power to put AEW over that level of fans that they've been able to acquire in these 4 years. CM Punk was able to do that. CM Punk could bring more wrestling fans to the
And
table.
like it or not, it's not Bryan Danielson and it's not Jon Moxley either.
It's not. It absolutely is not. However, CM Punk was. CM Punk was that guy who could actually push the needle. He could do it, and you lost him over some immature stuff that could have been handled at a round table with grown men. You could have sat down and you could have talked that out and you could have kept CM Punk, but you didn't. So you've lost CM Punk and that's over. And then the universe gifts you Adam Copeland with his music and the rated R superstar lingo. You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
all of this and it lands in your lap. And then you decide, well, what should I do with Edge? I'm going to put him in the ring with Luchasaurus.
You don't think that's a good place to start?
No,
It's Christian's henchman. It's Christian's henchman.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why it's not a good place to start, because you have Edge and you know that just a few years ago, Edge was on the shelf forever. He was never going to return to wrestling. And by some miracle, the universe gifting Tony Khan way, way in the past, before this even happened, letting Edge come out of retirement, and wrestle again. And you know you have him, but you know there is a possibility of him being fragile in certain situations. No one without the experience to handle a situation like that would be in the ring with my Adam Copeland if I'm Tony Khan. I'm not going to. He said tonight he named Powerhouse Hobbs. I'll be damned if I'd let Powerhouse Hobbs get in the ring with Edge. Like you
That
have
puts a lot of trust in the Nightmare Factory.
absolutely, and it's more trust than I'd be willing to give.
Yeah,
You
no
know,
shit. No shit.
I could not see, and plus they're talking about he's going to wrestle every week. He's going to be on the show every week, and he's going to wrestle, and he plans on wrestling full time. Why? Edge can come out and cut a promo 3 weeks out of the month. He really can,
Yeah.
and get you just as much ratings as you risking him getting hurt by putting him in the ring with Powerhouse Hobbs.
That's a great
Or
point. And it looks like, Nick Wayne could be next, And I know the
yeah,
kid's a natural and he's talented and everything, but still, highly inexperienced.
he can be talented all day. I'm still not putting him in the ring with Adam
Yeah.
Copeland.
Yeah.
If Adam Copeland is literally that's your life raft. You went out on this CM Punk island and got stuck.
Dude,
And this
literally,
is your life raft.
I said in the chat, man, will Edge make it down the ramp safely? And I was like joking, but also serious, because we know CM Punk friggin' lipped into the crowd and that screwed him big time, And even as Edge was getting towards the ring, man, I gasped because he like hopped down off the side. I was like, no, dude, don't stay on the ramp. Stay on the
don't
ramp,
risk anything. You've got to keep this guy safe. You've got to keep this guy uninjured. And that's not the
they're
best
going to do some
strategy.
stupid stuff next Tuesday, man. Him and Luchasaurus are going to do some stupid shit.
I 100% agree. And if I'm going to want to see some of these matches that he named tonight. That promo tonight was solid.
It was good.
Really,
yes, very good.
That promo reminded me why Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Definitely.
And it all has to do with his ability to pull passion out of something like that and really relay that to the fans. But to have Edge in your company and you're Tony Khan, I can see where you'd want him to go against Kenny Omega. He said Kenny Omega, I'm all in for that.
Did you see the very beginning of the show when he walked out with Kenny Omega and Jericho? Did you see that? Yeah. So I mean, they shook hands. They're already planting those seeds, man, which I love. I think him and Omega could have a great match.
But I'll be honest, the first person he said was Jon Moxley. If I'm Tony Khan, Jon Moxley's not touching it. No way. Absolutely not. I don't care who wants to see it.
Keep
John
him away
Moxley's
from
not
Ray
getting in the ring with
Phoenix.
Edge.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
definitely.
not going near Ray Phoenix. You're not putting this guy. I wouldn't even put him in there with Jungle Boy.
No, no. Well,
I want to see Kenny Omega. Yes. Put him in there with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho take care of him. That's fine.
definitely,
You know,
definitely. Well, I think
him
one
and
of his big wins back should be against Jericho. I think
him
that would be a
him and
good.
Christian.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people that you can get some amazing matches out of Edge with.
So it sounds like you weren't necessarily hoping for the tag team dream matches that I feel like
Honestly,
could have
no.
been the obvious thing to do, and they might still get to it.
Yeah, they probably will still get to it, and I would be just as excited with that path as I am with the path of him going for the world title. I'm an Edge fan. I don't care. He could bring Gangrel in and win the trios champion, and I'm going to be happy. I
Stay
I
tuned to
want
Ring of Honor for that
right.
one.
I want to see Edge do well. I want to see him end his career strong, and I don't want to see him end his career early because somebody was stupid and thought that he really needed to face Powerhouse Hobbs in a best 2 out of 3 falls match.
In a
I don't
Texas
want
death
that.
match.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want him to go in there in a some type of hardcore stadium fight with John Moxley. I I don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want it.
I'm anxious to see what they do with it too, man. With AEW for me, it's always like it depends. I mean, everybody is can be affected by bad booking.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I commend AEW on is AEW, despite their shortcomings in a lot of different areas, they always find a way to keep me interested. Always, no matter what, something happens that change. Because I'll tell you, I was kind of sour after CM Punk was fired. I was sour at the fact that they don't have anyone in that company capable of mending fences. You don't have anybody who is in conflict resolution at AEW. You really need to contact Brian Resner. I could come there
They
and
need.
clean that shit
I
up
was going to
for
say
you.
they need to call Al Snow and Amazing Maria from OVW to come and run traffic.
They could do it as well. There are plenty
For
of people
sure.
that could do it. You really need a problem. Bully Ray, have you seen what Bully Ray said about CM Punk recently? He's like 1,000% we'd hire him over here at Impact.
For sure.
Because he knows that he can handle CM Punk. CM Punk is not as much as a problem as he is a draw.
No
And if you
doubt.
can handle
No
his
doubt.
problem, you get to feel his draw. I don't know why. I don't know why anyone wouldn't be able to make that work. You know what I
So,
mean?
which match do you think you versus Edge? What's the one you're looking forward to the most? Is it Omega?
I would say Omega. Honestly, I would say Omega was. I mean, Christian and Edge versus the Young Bucks would be incredible.
Totally.
Christian and Edge versus FTR would
FTR.
be incredible.
Yeah.
But I look forward to actually. I would say Kenny Omega is probably my second that I'm looking forward to the most because I am a mark for Edge versus Christian.
Okay.
I
All right.
don't care. I don't care how many times I've seen it. I want to see it again. That's the thing is
Do you think
Edge and Christian is the big deal for me.
so? You think we're going to see Adam Copeland, the rated R TNT champion?
Very very possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very possible. I
That
know
gives him an
that's a good
excuse to
way.
kind of, Christian hasn't wrestled a whole lot. He hasn't done a ton of defenses. And I could see him
Right.
doing the same thing with Edge, have him just walking out with the title and cutting promos, like you were saying. Have him come out, but don't have a match every week. Please don't
Right.
have a match every week.
Well, that's one reason I would keep him away from the TNT title because honestly, if they were playing their cards right with the TNT title, it would be a title that's only defended on Collision.
Yeah.
Collision
Like a
on
TV
TNT,
title.
and it would be a TV title, and every single Collision they would put it on the line, and therefore you should keep it far away from Edge because
You
Edge
and
shouldn't
me
be
and Tony
defending a
Khan are
title
all
every week.
WCW Saturday Night guys. I don't know why he
We
doesn't
are.
get a TV title right. Why can't he just
Yeah.
have a title that's defended and it has to be defended? That to me
Absolutely.
is the best way to go with
That's
any TV title.
You're 100% right. 100% right. But I want to keep that away from Edge because I don't want him to defend it every single week. And I
Right.
also would would like to see them keep him away from MJF until they're ready to give him the belt.
Mm.
Don't let him go in there with MJF and not win. You need Edge to win
Oh,
against
well,
MJF, and MJF needs more time with the belt.
definitely.
So you need to keep Edge away from MJF. They should never cross paths. And if you've noticed, they haven't like Edge hasn't really said anything about MJF.
No, tonight though he did say I have my eye on the world championship.
He did, but he didn't specifically say MJF.
No, that's true. But we all know who the
And
champ is.
we all do, but I really hope that they're following my telepathic message
I
of
hope so
keep
too,
him
man. That needs to
away
be way
from
more. Well, and we'll just
MJF.
see if MJF resigns. I mean, that may be who has to take the title.
That's very true. If and you know what, I think that we're crazy to think MJF's not going to sign.
Yeah,
MJF's not stupid.
yeah.
I don't even think. I honestly think that if Tony Khan offered MJF more money, he would still go to the WWE.
That's what Jay did. According to Tony, he offered her more than she asked for, and she still went.
Yeah,
I
right.
read
Because,
that. Read that
but
quote directly.
yeah, it's the destination. You know, when you put your eye on a prize and you have a goal in mind, you're going to get there, even if you have to take a pay cut, because in your mind, you believe you're going to be the next big thing. And it doesn't matter what you came in for, it matters what you end up with. And they're taking a bet on themselves. And I think MJF would take that same bet. I honestly believe he would take that bet and he would become something way bigger than he could be anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I wanted to mention, and I think there's gonna be some cool tag matches. I think we're gonna see Edge teaming with Sting and Edge teaming with Sting and Darby. Probably, they're gonna work him in there, hopefully in that manner where he doesn't have to work as much, and they can make the singles matches special, but still do a draw and still advertise him as in matches. But then he also said to Christian, those guys, as soon as they get everything they want from you, they're gonna suck the life out of you and leave you laying, kind of implying that that's what the Judgment Day did to him. Like my guys turned on me, your
Yeah,
guys are going to turn on you too. And so I could
I
see that
picked up
playing
on
out in
that.
a cool way too. Yeah, I could see that playing out. Ultimately Edge saves Jay.
I thought it was kind of cool that he called him Uncle Jay, and he
Yeah.
kind of lets you into like their life
All the
as
fans are smart, dude.
friends.
All the fans are smart. There's no reason not to, and he's already
Right.
said that in the post scrum or whatever, So I mean, he might as well just throw it out there. It's a good narrative. And he's being real,
Absolutely.
which we've grown to love about Edge, man. He's just one of the realest guys, and has been given the
Right.
freedom to do that. And he will, I think he'll shine with his creativity in AEW. I just hope he doesn't get too goofy with it either. First thing he came out and said was that about maple syrup and Molson's or something like that with the Canadians. So
Right.
he's got to balance that Edge and Christian show with the more defiant, determined Edge that we love too.
So one more thing before we get out of here, because we are going to do the 4-year AEW episode in the future. So we will we will take a deep dive. But one thing that comes to mind for me is the fact that, yes, it's cool to have Edge. And yes, it's cool that he's a face. And I understand why he's a face. But we all know that Edge is a heel. The Edge that really made Edge
The
is the
ultimate
heel edge.
opportunist.
The ultimate opportunist, Adam Copeland, is really something that I would hate to lose an opportunity on if I'm Tony Khan, even though I need him in the face position now.
Yeah, yeah.
But you are pushing MJF to be a face, because we all know Adam Cole and MJF is going to end in Adam Cole turning on MJF. I can just smell it coming.
Yeah.
And when that happens, MJF is going to be your new face. And how that makes sense, I cannot explain to you,
No.
but it does. I've never seen anyone refer to the fans as my pores and then love it. But MJF somehow makes it happen. But maybe, just maybe, when they push him toward MJF, they're going to push him toward MJF as a heel.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see it totally. We've got 2 or 3 years worth of good television, if it's done right.
We really do. If it's done right, they can use this to launch themselves to the next level. One quick thing: did you see the trademarks that Adam Copeland's company registered
No,
after his
no, I did not.
debut?
No, I didn't.
I don't have them in front of me, but I do remember that one was Ledge, like Edge spelled in legend. It
Okay.
was
All right.
legend,
Oh,
and
okay.
with
All right.
Edge
All right.
inside the legend.
Okay.
And then one was Cope.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what he's going to do with those,
Hmm.
but he did file for those trademarks. It's
Does
going to
he
be
own
interesting.
Sexton Hardcastle?
I don't think he does. I
He
don't
should.
believe.
I
I
would
don't
I would
believe
hang
he
on to that.
owns
I'd hang on to
Sexton Hardcastle. I think I would have came out as Sexton Hardcastle if I was him.
that. TBS ain't gonna have that. TBS.
Yeah, that's definitely a porn name.
All
Well,
right, man.
thank you very much for talking with me about Edge's debut in the AEW. For Adam Harris, I am Brian Resner. Make sure you hit subscribe on the button down below and hit that little bell so that you get notifications to know when our videos come out. And leave us some comments and tell your friends. And if you haven't liked the page, now would definitely be the time you would want to like the page. Have a great time this evening, and we will see you next time right here on the House of Kayfabe.